Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is TheSketchMonkey here. I'm here at Lamborghini Denver to have a look at a future legend, and this is the Lamborghini Huracan EVO. This is the rear-wheel drive version, which I prefer over the all-wheel drive just because of some changes that they made in the front end design. Now, some people said when this first came out, the Huracan in 2015, they said that this was too weak of a Lamborghini design, but I love everything that goes on here. It has clear Lamborghini design identity, which we're gonna have a look at in just a second. And we also knew that Lamborghini were gonna put out 53 different versions, more aggressive versions than the original Huracan, for example, the STO, the Technica, and the EVO, for example. So what we're gonna do in this video is have a look at the front end design, talk about what's going on here, this super chiseled design. Just have a look at how far the A-pillar sits almost right above the front axle. We're gonna have a look at the gorgeous side view and the rear as well, specifically what's specific for this EVO that I love that they made those changes. Then we're gonna look at the interior, and then we're gonna take this for a drive. Let's have a look at some of the basic spec and tech of this Grigio Telesto Pearl Lamborghini Huracan EVO. You have a naturally aspirated 5.2-liter V10, putting out 631 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque in the all-wheel drive version. In the rear-wheel drive, it drops to 610 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque, connected to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. 0 to 60 is done in 2.9 seconds with a top speed of 202 miles per hour. Fuel economy sits at 13 city, 18 highway, and the price for this is $305,000. Some of you may know that I studied car design back in the day, 10, 12 years ago, 2009 to 2010 in Italy, and we had some projects with designers from Lamborghini, and Lamborghini has a very strong brand identity when it comes to their designs. They have a couple of rules that they don't move away from very often in their cars. One of that is having these lines in the hood. You see them go from wide at the bottom right here into narrow up top. This is a typical Lamborghini DNA style. And then you have this line carving into the very sharp front end right here. And I do love the Huracan headlights. I think these are fantastic looking with the almost Y-shaped design, two Y-shapes inside there, creating a very strong face. And I mean, it doesn't get more aggressive than this shape. It just feels like it's gonna cut you and it's gonna eat you alive if you come too close to it. I said that I prefer the rear-wheel drive design over the all-wheel drive of the Huracan EVO, and the reason being, I just think this front end of the rear-wheel drive looks cleaner. It has more of that clean, original 70s, 60s Lamborghini style in the front end. The all-wheel drive has this Y shape right here, while here we just have a big fin, and then you have this massive opening here. You can see the intercooler in here, and of course this center portion is also very functional. You have this little wing inside of this intake in the middle, looking very clean. So those are the reasons why I personally prefer the rear-wheel drive design over the all-wheel drive, even though this makes a little bit less power. Now, looking at this car from a straight front view that you're looking at it from right now, it's you know, this is going out of production next year. They're already sold out of every single new Huracan. You can't buy a new one from the factory because they're all sold out up until 2024. This one is gonna be hard to beat when it comes to design. I do think Lambo did a great job replacing the Aventador with the Revuelto. I still think the Aventador looks modern in its design. It has a chiseled, sharp, crisp design that we have in modern cars, but I'm very eager to see how they are going to top this design in the next generation Huracan. Now, coming around to the side view of the Lamborghini Huracan, and here there are so many design cues in the side view of the Huracan that is proper Lamborghini DNA. Look at the roofline right here, going from the very corner of the front end up here into the A-pillar, going all the way down into this gorgeous EVO spoiler ducktail that we have only for the EVO, which I love that they added on the EVO. But it's one continuous line, it's one continuous curvature. If you want to sketch this car, you have 3 lines to think about. Line number 1 is the one we talked about right here with the one single curvature going into the A-pillar and into the hood to the front fender. The second line is this line right here. You have a nice big chamfer in the lower section of the greenhouse coming up here and framing the overall greenhouse. And then the third line, you need to have a baseline, and that's just basically going to be a straight cut through both axles, and then you put the wheels on there, and boom, you have a Lamborghini sketch. So let's talk about this overall spec here. The wheel design, you have two 45/20s in the front end. You have 305mm wide tires and 20s in the rear. Personally, again, black wheels here. I love this wide spoke design that we have on the Evo, but I would definitely get these in silver, because with this dark gray color on the exterior, I want to have the wheels pop a little bit more. I do like that we have the red brake calipers, and the Italian graphics at the lower section of the car just adds a little bit more of uniqueness to this specific Huracan. Overall, I like this spec, I like the gray, but I would switch out the wheels. One detail I love about Lamborghinis is that they have this congruency in their designs. They're sticking with the hexagonal shapes all over the car. You also have sharp angles in every single little feature. The wheels, the side mirrors look super sharp. You don't want to be ahead of this because it's going to cut you if you touch it too hard. And you have the shoulder line going here with this chamfer that we talked about. And this being a mid-engine Lamborghini, I like that they didn't just cut a vent like we have in the Aventador, which looks good on the Big Brother, but here they made it a little bit more subtle, because we have the big air vent up here. So this is a dual air vent right here in the C-pillar. We also have the air vent down here at the bottom. It looks more elegant and more classy, and you have more body surface, so it feels more like a unit to me, this side view, compared to, for example, the Aventador. Now, coming around to the rear end of the Huracan EVO, and what a genius update Lamborghini did to this design compared to the regular or non-EVO Huracan. I just love the subtle changes that we have here. The biggest change that I think makes a massive difference in this design is that we have this spoiler up here that sticks up. Looking at this from a side view right here, it sends off the design in a very clean way, and also creates this nice chamfer on the back side of it. A couple of more changes that we have. We do have bazooka tailpipes in the grille, sticking out from the grille itself. Also very Lamborghini style, that they don't really care about what it looks like. It just looks like some sort of aftermarket craziness going on here with these big tailpipes that you have sticking out in the middle. Another detail that was changed for the Evo compared to the normal Huracan is that we do have a different type of diffuser down here. And as you can see, this is okay because we have it body color down here, and this is gray, it's kind of a dark color. But for example, imagine if this was yellow. You have the option to have the diffuser being in body color. I call those diffuser diapers, because they don't have any connection to the rest of the colored pieces of the body. It just sits down here alone in body color at the very low section, being yellow if this car was yellow on the exterior. But in this case, I would rather have the diffuser just be black, or even better, have this being carbon fiber. But overall, I do like the big tunnels that we have here. Everything looks super functional. You also have the parking sensors integrated here, and the camera located right there in the middle. Now, I have to give you a straight rear view of this car, because I just want to show you how you do planted cars the proper way. And Lamborghini did that with the Huracan. Just have a look at this area here and how it angles down from the roofline into the fenders here. This neck muscles that you have here, it feels very muscular, that it's squatting in the rear end, and you just want to take off when you look at this from a straight rear view. Fantastic design, and as I said, I really like what Lambo did with the update for specifically the Evo, with the ducktail up top and the bazooka tailpipes right in the middle. Welcome to the very hot and steamy interior of the Lamborghini Huracan EVO. So let's fire it up. I'm gonna keep it in Strada for now. Gonna try to tame this engine to be a little bit quiet while we record this video. It's gonna be hard because it is, after all, a wild beast. It is a Lamborghini. But what do we have here? In the center for the EVO, they updated everything here. So you have a 8.4-inch infotainment screen right here. Not sure what I think about this. I did like the old version of the Huracan interior, but this looks very cool, and the graphics here are very much Lamborghini. And here you can even see in this vehicle setting here, the logo. Here you can see the 3 key lines that I talked about when we looked at the exterior in the side view, looking very clean. Everything feels like fighter jet in here. The instrument, the gauge cluster is a 12.3-inch gauge cluster, all digital. And once you go through the modes here, it's gonna change the graphics of what's shown up to you. For example, when you go into Corsa, the tachometer is gonna be the most important graphics that you see. While you're in Strada, you still have the tachometer being large, but you also have a bigger speedometer. I've never experienced an interior like this, where the roof goes all the way, ceiling goes all the way to this point here. This is what you need to have when you have an outside chiseled spear shape like you have of the side view of the Huracan. You just have to have it like this, and I like it because you don't have a lot of window space. Everything is very tight. As I said, it feels like you're sitting in some sort of fighter jet when you're in here, and that also helps when you have all these toggle switches for the windows, for example, which is pretty weird because if you hit it downwards, it goes up, and when you push it upwards, then it goes down. So that's a little bit of Italian engineering for you right there. It only adds to the charm of this car, I think. Then you have these air vents, very hexagonal, as you can see, typical Lamborghini. This is what I'm talking about. It's all about the details of Lamborghini, adding the same feeling all around the car in every single small detail that you have. And this dash itself going all the way to the very far, the windshield is all the way up there. This is a big landing strip. And again, that needs to happen when you have this type of shape on the exterior. Moving down here, we have the vents up here, which we talked about. You have this hexagonal pattern with the Lamborghini in this trim piece here. You might wonder where the cup holders are. You just press this button and boom, a cup holder just magically pops out from the dash like that. If you hide it, it looks just like part of the rest of the trim. Nicely done. Again, attention to detail from Lamborghini. Here you have the front end lift, you have the window controls, you have the electric stability control on and off, hazards, parking assist, the automatic shut off for the engine, and the window for the passenger seat. In this infotainment screen here, I'm not sure what we have here. I haven't really checked this out yet. Let's click on vehicle. You have exterior lighting settings and a bunch of driver assist settings, service and checks and what have you. You also should have the navigation here somewhere. Let's go to the home screen and click on navigation. Let's see how this shows up. It's pretty responsive, but it also feels a little bit laggy at some points. But I would probably just use Apple CarPlay if I owned this car. Going into the home button again, let's check the settings here and see what we got here. We have all the display settings, language, measure units, and stuff like that that you just want to configure once and leave it. And if you click on Klima up there, this little icon, you get the controls for the climate controls, which looks pretty simple. You have the buttons for the fan speed and the temperature right here, and where you want the air to blow from. Those are the three settings that you need really for climate control settings. You also have the buttons for the heated seats here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you have cooled seats in this Huracan, but that's totally fine. Moving further down, this is a legendary start button by now. You lift this up, fighter jet style again. Lift it up, and this is where you have the start button. And look at this, look at the outline of this thing. We still have the hexagonal shapes that we have in the vents, in the dash, coming back right here. And it also comes back in this piece that holds the reverse button and the parking and the manual button for the transmission. So let's pop it into reverse and let's see where we get the head-up camera. We have it right here in the gauge cluster, and it looks pretty grainy to me, but again, you're still gonna see those big SUVs, so you don't have to worry about backing into one of those. Moving further down, you do have the parking brake button right here. Still hexagonal outline for that as well. I love that. You can't lift this up. It's just a little pad of leather in this area where you're gonna have your arm. Perfectly comfortable for me. And this looks like it is the wireless charging pad right here with a 12-volt cigarette outlet and a couple of USBs back here. Okay guys, setting off in the 2023 Lamborghini Huracan EVO rear-wheel drive. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it in. Let's go to Corsa straight away, because what's the point of keeping this in Strada if we're just gonna drive it for a short trip? We just want to have it in the most aggressive setting, and that's what we have in Corsa. What do we have under the hood? Naturally aspirated 5.2 liter V10 with the rear wheel drive, putting out 610 horsepower. And the all-wheel drive, you get 630 horsepower. But I'm okay with that, because all the power is sent to the rear wheels only. So 610, you know what? That sounds good to me. Let's pop it into manual here. So let's floor it here. Let's go. Oh my God. I don't know if you saw how much I was shaking there. It just, the car just took me, shook me, and threw it out. And the ride is raw in Corsa. It's very rough and raw, but that's what you want when you have it in Corsa, right? I mean, what's the point of otherwise having a setting like that? Oh my God, Lamborghini. Lamborghini. They know how to make raw, brutal driving experiences. That's the difference between Lamborghini and Ferrari, for example. Ferrari feels like more the sophisticated, the grown-up sibling, and the Lamborghini is just a wild, crazy partying cousin or something like that. That's the difference that you have between the two. And I love both, but just when it comes to pure adrenaline, fun, craziness, Lamborghini just has something over Ferrari when it comes to that. But as I said, I do love both. They both have two different philosophies when it comes to building cars, and I'm glad that both exists. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love with this car. What a car this is. Wow. And this is something you can't get when you have all electric. It just doesn't happen. What a car this is. All your senses are like hyped up because you're driving this thing, because you want to be in control of what's going on. It's shaky, it's rough, it's loud. Everything you want from an Italian exotic. So let's take it easy. Let's make a nice little U-turn here. There we go. And we have a straight in front of us, no cars. Let's go. This is addicting. This car is just incredible. Very brutal. I mean, brutal is the one word I can think of this car. It's just a exciting, rough, brutal driving experience that I haven't gotten in any Ferrari or any Maserati or anything like that. That's what makes Lamborghini special again. So if I'm honest here, I'm officially now a 100% in love with the Lamborghini's cars. EVO rear-wheel drive, just an amazing machine this. I'm not sure how, I would love to feel how the all-wheel drive feels compared to this, but I still feel like I have a ton of grip from the, I think, 305mm rear tires. Still feels absolutely fantastic to drive. And I don't feel like I'm not in control at any time. It's pretty interesting to think about the logos and the design of the logos compared Lamborghini to Ferrari. Let's start with Ferrari, a very elegant horse that's on its back legs, very beautiful and graceful is the Ferrari logo. And then you come to Lamborghini and there is a fighting bull here. I think that says a lot of the differences between Lamborghini and Ferrari. I'm at a red light right now, as you can see, and I just can't wait to get going because I want to drive this car more. It just puts a smile on your face. So, can I please take this car home? That would be absolutely fantastic if we could work out a deal and do that. Thanks again to Lamborghini of Denver here in Colorado, obviously, for letting me review this absolutely beautiful car. A future legend, as I said. Definitely, there's no doubt about that. If you want to check this car out or their full inventory, I'm going to link that down in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.